Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on March 30th, 2024 at approximately 4:30 p.m. PST. Now, I've returned to this world for one primary purpose, and that is to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. I build myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally use in my day-to-day life. And the philosophies I talk about, and the philosophies of life I talk about, are the same philosophies I use to guide virtually every movement I make. With this in mind, I know these tools will work for you because they continue to work for me and have worked for literally thousands of other people with varying degrees of success, depending on their own personal efforts. Now, we changed the format a little here, okay, but certain things are staying the same. Number one, if you've got a question, any question at all, doesn't matter the topic, even if it's not on what we're discussing. Okay, what you do is put your question in the chat room in all caps, preferably all caps, at least partial caps, and bare minimum, put a wavy hand in there so I can find it. Now, before I go any further, let's see. We have in the house. We have Steve in by the look of it. Well, in all fairness, Storm really is in with the gold. Okay, but then of course doesn't exactly count in a lot of ways because while Storm's setting the thing up, he's not here, I'm not here. Okay, so with this in mind, okay, there's a list of policies at the top of the list, at the top of the stream. Okay, the policies apply to everybody. Doesn't matter whether you're me, a moderator, or a listener. Doesn't matter. Okay. I run things very simply from that standpoint. The rules are there. Summary eviction is real quick. I suggest if you haven't been here, in here before, scroll to the top of the chat and take a look at it. Okay. That said, Steve Knox is here. Steve, you're in with the gold today. Hopefully your day is going well. I know things can get a little hectic on occasion, but what the heck. Then we have Eternity Eternal is in with the silver. And Joe Stewart has shown up with the bronze. So we are off to a running start here. Of course, it's a good thing I don't pay a lot of attention to numbers anymore. I mean, I watch them, I let you know where they're standing. Okay. But I find it fascinating. Okay. This week we're looking at choice. Now, the next 3 months are very simple. We will be covering, and we're just going to stay with this routine. Okay. We start with the spiritual side of it. Okay. That takes place on Friday. Individual, we take place today, and we'll get to that momentarily. When we look at society, that takes place on Sunday. Still with the same theme behind it. This week is choice. Then we move to the off-worlders and see how that correlates. Then we go to the imagination and the creative side of things and show you how to tie it all together before we head for our weekend. Which, by the way, Wednesday and Thursday are our weekend from here on out. Now, when we talk about choice, let's go right back to the beginning. People talk about the contract that they had, their life contract. Yes, every one of you has a life contract, but that contract is your design. It's not somebody else that you're making a contract with. You made a contract. You chose to come back to this lifetime as a corporeal person. Okay, most of you are here as human. Some of you have some interesting sides. Okay, where you're telling people you're alien. You're not from this world. Bad news, guys. Okay, and I know some of you are going to say, well, you can't say that about me because you don't know me. I'm special. You probably are. However, I'm an English major, so I can say it. LA Moon, you are in with honorable mention. How are you doing? Glad you could join us. So, some of you have very dominant past life memories that may make it feel like you are not human. Okay, like you're not in a human body. And some of you have a body that absolutely defies human, human, if you will, quantification. Okay, I'm probably one of those. Okay, now one of the important things to remember: yes, you may remember a past life. You may feel like you're from another planet altogether, and your dominant memory may well land you in that position. However, you must understand a couple of very important things. Ask these questions of yourself to figure out where you fit. Okay, where you fit for your own classification purposes. Does your body require a standard amount of sleep? Standard amount being somewhere between 6 and 8 hours. Does your body heal at a normal rate? Okay, normal being the average, what people on the whole do. Okay, do you have a dietary process that consumes basically accepted foodstuffs that humans eat? If all of the above are correct, then quite frankly, you're still stuck with the fact that you're in a human body. You may not like it, you may hate the idea. Yes, Steve, you can. Okay, but that is a choice that you make. That is what, from a spiritual standpoint, is referred to as animal moxum. It's a blood debt. Okay, it goes way beyond corporeal blood. Okay, it is a commitment soul to soul, not person to person. Okay, it's akin to the idea of if you've got a car and you're driving, let's say you're driving a pickup, and you make a life contract with this guy, with another person, to provide cargo hauling, okay, for their stuff for the rest of their life. You can make that contract, but if you change vehicles from a pickup to a Lamborghini, the contract still holds. You still got to find a way to make that happen. And rest assured, a blood contract, a soul contract with another soul, is a lot more restricted than a contract with a corporeal. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, excellent question there, Steve. Okay, and that is one. And where is my? Oh, right here. I have this wonderful little clipboard for making notes of what I've got to deal with. So yes, a contract can be entered into with somebody else. But the big one, as far as the life contract goes, that is one that is made with you. I'm about to get into that point. The contract, when you're making contract with yourself, you're making a contract to gain certain wisdom. You come back to this world to gain a certain amount of wisdom. Now, that was your choice. Yes, I'm looking for things, and that's where confusion comes in on occasion. Okay, you made a choice to come back to this world. Lord knows I've asked the same question. Why in heaven's sake would I possibly choose to come back to this? But the choice was made by you. The contract was made by you to you. Honestly, LA, it actually is. LA Moon is asking, when a child comes in with abusive parents, is that some sort of contract too? Yes. Now, understand, this is not a logical decision from a human standpoint. But kids coming in with an abusive parent, more often than not, are coming in to understand what abuse feels like, and plan potentially to figure out, if possible, they may have come in going, I desire to understand abuse on a first-hand base. You may have gone through it multiple times and gone, this time I desire to break that abuse. Now, I can think of a couple of people that I know reasonably well, at least I fake it well, that came into abusive homes and have broken away from that abusive mentality into a very loving, very giving family life, family outlook. Okay. And I know those of you that have broken away from your abusive past and are now treating people decently. I know you know who you are. I'm not dropping names on the table. Okay, just not going to happen. So yeah, when you come in, some will come in to say, I feel like I was an absolutely terrible person in my last life. I desire to feel what they went through. Okay, what the people I was beating on went through. Okay, maybe you came in with the idea, maybe you chose to come in to gain wisdom around violence, uncontrolled, unrestrained violence. Understand, if there are not people out there that have unrestrained violence, you will not know what absolutely locked on peace looks like or feels like. Okay, I mean, think about it. If everybody talked like me, if everybody thought like I do, number one, we wouldn't, there'd be a lot of problems. And this is why I don't talk about what I really think of people. But when we take a look at it, you made a choice. You as an individual made a choice. Now I'm dropping another choice in your lap. And this is what I came here to do, was to turn the lights on so you can see where the pitfalls are in the hallway, where the chair is sitting in the middle of your walkway, so you can see it and choose to either do something about it, either step around it, move it, repair it, or walk right into it. Your call. Let's face it, if I tell you you're walking down a hallway and there's this great big open hole here, and if you don't stay to the side, you're going to fall into it. Now, I've done my part. You choose to walk down the middle of it, you fall through the hole. Does it really? So the thing we have to remember, okay, is when you're looking at the world, okay, when you're looking at the way this world is working, you are making a choice. Now, do you like the way your world is sitting right now? Are you one of these people sitting there listening to other people telling you you cannot accomplish it? You're not capable. Okay. One of the reasons I have started opening, why I've opened up the publishing side of things, is because too many of you have a single poem or a single short story that you would really like to get. Now, Steve goes, this explains much of the sickness and wrongs that happen in this world. Absolutely, that's what we're aiming for, is just to turn the lights on, Steve, but thank you for that. LA is going, so when a person does break free, they can see it with an unjaded eye and can choose a better path from there. Absolutely. That change, LA, can be made mid-lifetime. Okay, now we've had some pretty serious discussions about why I really came back and what I've been up to in the past. Okay, and no, we're certainly not getting into that. Not on live. Way too many problems. But I took a look at the way my world is. Now, you'll notice that, yes, this is my bed, but this is also my office desk. Okay. Those of you that are receiving the free newsletter, you received it today. If you haven't checked your email, check it. That's where it'll be. Okay. Yeah. We're going in. That's right. I'm sitting here going, what month are we working in? I just shipped off April. Okay. You'll notice in April, as per request, number one, we've added some color. We've added some color to the, matter of fact, for those of you in the chat room, there is now color in the writing. Okay. Plus, on top of that, okay, as we were discussing, we have added color pictures. Now, they're not great, but before somebody comes to any brilliant idea that I'm looking at a copyright issue, might be wise to consider that picture. And I should have grabbed this before, so give me 5 seconds. I'll grab it now. Now, when people start looking at copyright, let's understand something very important here. We have this neat little issue. This page here, you'll notice, has a color picture on it. Well, actually, it's got two. Here's how close we have to worry about copyright. There's the critter. Okay. Now, I chose to ask you guys what you would like to see added to positive perspectives. Okay. And what I've done is got the information from you. You asked for color pictures. Finally figured out how to get photographs off my phone. Not bad. I've had the phone for 2 years. Okay. But you choose what you're aiming for. You can choose to remain living your life the way it is. You can choose to maintain your connection to whatever spiritual guide you're listening to that's telling you as you get old, you're going to get ill. Your body's going to break down. You're going to suffer great illnesses and great losses. And of course, we've got all the societal disparity that you can imagine. Can't answer that one for you there, Ellie. Talk to Frank. Of course, knowing Frank, he'll simply make the thing take a picture whether it's got a camera or not. But you've got a choice to make. We can, as a society, we can continue to choose to listen to the people telling us we can't do it. Or we can ignore those statements and we can do it anyway. Point in fact. Okay, and no, I don't have any proof. Sorry, guys. Talk to the military. They'll get the proof for you. I'm sure of it. Okay. But at 5 years old, they diagnosed me dead and told my parents that I was dead. They shipped me off to the morgue. I didn't listen very well, so I got up and left. Okay. I chose to ignore their diagnosis. Now, in your world, in the world you're living in, yes, all these big things are happening. Yes, what I call an illusory shortage of oil, of gas, of land. I call it illusory because if you've ever flown over any country, there is a lot of room that has not been occupied. Okay, a lot of room. So we clearly, in my opinion, never mind what the news says. Okay, Iowax, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You know, if you fly over any country or drive through any country at all, we don't have a shortage of land, people. We really don't. Um, I'm not quite certain what you're getting at there, Iowax, because I will tell you, there's a lot of animals that hide eggs in the woods. Now, pardon me for being obtuse, but what the heck? Now, when we look at the shortage of oil, okay, understand something rather critical. And again, do not take my word for it. Do your own research. But my understanding is that there is a 6-month back storage of oil in reserve. Okay. Now, I've got no reason to disbelieve this. But if I'm going to believe that, then I have to wonder how gas prices and oil prices are affected within days of a hiccup. Oh, okay. I'm glad somebody included me in. Guys, I missed the fact it was Good Friday yesterday until first thing in the morning. Not bad for a run on Good Friday. But you have a choice. You can continue living your life the way it is. You can continue hanging on to old precepts that you yourself know aren't working. Or you can your life. That's just the reality behind it. Now, yeah, I figure I gave the Easter Bunny a break. I left him with all of his feet. But I've asked you guys what you would like to see. Now, this, of course, it started off with 6, but I no longer have a size limit I have to really worry about. I'm still very concerned with the content. Okay. And this is why, yes, I am absolutely open to taking input in, but you've got a choice. Okay. I am working very hard on getting a number of things put together. This being one of them. Joseph, glad you could join us. Oh, you locked out. See, Joseph goes, we sure did. Frank was our chef. See, I didn't get that. Okay, I did have ham today. I was lazy, so I just took a can of ham, of flaked ham, and that was my lunch. But I am quite content with the way my life is going. Joe, that is an excellent show. Yeah, I was thinking I may watch that. It gets a little fun, but I tend to watch those now with my other half if we can get time. The thing I get again, the one discrepancy that I've always found fascinating is everybody calls him Jesus, but the problem is the J in the English language didn't even exist until the mid 17th century. Okay. But we could go into all sorts of discrepancies there. That said, that's a good idea, Joe. I think I will pick one of those movies. Don't know which one yet, but I'll pick one of those movies and sit down and watch it with my other half. You know, we watched a number of shows together now. But you've got a choice. Okay, like I've got the choice. I could leave my absolutely there, LA. You know, and there's a neat little thing there. Okay, I've told people, you know, people ask me, what do you prefer to be called? I look at them and go, I don't really care. I've been called a lot of things over the years, and some of them are repeatable in polite company. Now, as you can see, my door over here is open. That's because I'm still trying to figure out how we can bypass the issue with the signal strength. Don't know. Right now, neither of my boys are home. One's at work, the other one's out. Don't know when either one of them's coming back. But presumably before the end of the night. Come to think of it, I really should have checked this. Nope. Okay. No messages, don't need to worry about it. But you have a choice. Are you going to continue living your life the way you've been living it? Or are you going to start living it in a new fashion that you're more content with? Okay. Now, the nice part about it is if you've decided you're not happy with the way your life is going, absolutely drop me a line. Below this video, you'll find a whole pile of ways of getting a hold of me. Okay. Any of the books I've written, you look at the top of the stream and you'll see the buy me a coffee link. Okay, that Storm has been kind enough to pin to the top of the stream with it for us. Through that stream, you can get the free newsletter, you can get any of the books I've written. Okay, and even below this video, it also tells you how to get a hold of me. Okay, I'm not that hard to find. I mean, let's face it, I stay at home most of the time. This here is the email address that you use to get a hold of me. It's also the one used to get through PayPal. Chad, how you doing? Glad you could join us. And where are we? Go back to this. Pop that open, and this is the link to Chad Smith's live stream. Oh, that was really bad. This is the link to Chad Smith's live stream and his archives. So drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel and share the daylights out of the thing. Okay. All in all, we are looking at a major shift happening. Now, I mentioned earlier here, I was really looking a lot at the number of subscribers we had, and I asked just yesterday, should I even bother continuing? Well, I got it pretty succinct, direct. Yeah, keep it going. And I got looking at it and going, you know, we've only got, when I was looking primarily, like I was really focusing on everything off world and what was going on out there. I'm telling you, it's a great distraction. But when I was talking about that, we had triple the numbers. You see that there. We're gonna have problems again, aren't we, Frank? And we got complication there, but that's okay. You know, I looked at it and went, okay, off-worlders, the ancient races, absolutely. And you'll notice, for those of you that are looking for it, in the newsletter, okay, and I think we should start calling it a magazine. Apparently I can at this point. But, oh, gotta make that adjustment. Okay, You'll notice there is another picture here. This one here is straight out of Races of the World, and it's coming out of the second printing. Okay, like I said, haven't finished the second printing, but I figure, okay, let's start getting some of these pictures out. Now, that said, for those of you that actually have Races of the Worlds, if there is a race that you would like to see the picture of, okay, because I'm only putting one out per month at this point. Okay, I'm working on them all, but if you've got one you would like to see, absolutely drop me a line again in chat, in the comments, in direct email, doesn't matter. Yeah, Joseph, I would love to do that. I keep telling my computer it's supposed to work for me, but no, it goes, no, don't want to do it. And I'm telling you, the way the tech works around me is bizarre. Okay, but you've got a choice. Are you going to continue living your life the way you have been living it, or are you going to start utilizing? Man, you're having to work overtime there, Frank. If I could move further back, I would, but that just doesn't happen very well. But, ouch. Gonna stand up, see if that does anything. That'll be an interesting problem. Can't see the TV, can't see the screen at that point. Oh, absolutely. And that said, people, where are we? Pop that. And this is the Quantum Show. This is the link to Nathan's live stream, the Quantum Show. Drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, absolutely give him a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel. Okay. And share the daylights out of the thing. The reality is, and I don't make a big deal of a lot of things, but since my son turned 19 today, the odds of my being on Nathan's show, not good. Okay. What happens? To say the least, in my opinion, like, as I've always told you, family comes first. Well, family actually comes second. You must be true to you first. Family, and then in order of priority, you got to deal with you. Okay. You got to deal with family, then work, then entertainment. Okay. Oh, there we go. Joe goes, it's on YouTube, but when I was a kid on the Square TV, my whole family back in the day watched it. It was on Easter all the time. The Crown of Thorns scene is wonderful. And wonderful and long. Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay, no, I was going to say something. I'm just going to bite my tongue on that one. And there are a couple of you in the room that know exactly why I'm biting my tongue on that one. But absolutely, the shows are remarkable. Oh, yeah, he absolutely is, LA. I used to watch all of those old ones. I've started going back and watching a bunch of the old movies because the new movies, I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not sorry. In my opinion, a lot of the creative work that used to go into the sets, into the acting, into the costumes, it's all been turned into pastel. Okay. The effort behind it, no disrespect to the technologists that are making this happen. Okay. But there is a very different feel. It's like if you're reading a book on a computer. It is a very different feel to reading these. To taking an actual physical book and reading it. Okay, there's a very big difference in the feel. Now, I'm debating right now because I've got the digital pictures for This is Birth of the Wolf Pack, The End of an Epoch, The Return to Paradise, Where It All Began, and The Rise of Yldrbac. Okay, which are books that are coming up in the series. I've been debating whether to take the covers and, if you will, put a cameo in for them, one at a time sort of thing as I go along. It's simply a way of marketing, but I will tell you this. From my standpoint, it's the message that's got to get out. And what I mean by that is whether we are talking on positive perceptions here or positive perspectives, which is the newsletter, the magazine. Either one, we have to start working together and quit blame. We've got to choose to quit pointing fingers elsewhere. It was pointed out to me one day very clearly. If you take one finger and you point it at somebody, you'll notice where the other three fingers are pointing. Straight back at you. You've got to take responsibility for your own actions, for your own efforts. Okay? Absolutely. If somebody gives you a pat on the back, say thank you. Appreciate the fact you're being noticed. Okay? But whatever you do, as I was warned, do not permit yourself to start looking at the world as though you're actually on a pedestal. I'm just trying to figure out how I did that. I don't think that works yet. Oh, I know I did. Because I shoved my computer backwards a little. And now you can't see that sign. So we pick this up. And there we have it. Well, that doesn't look very good as far as that goes, does it? This, by the way, is just an empty box designed for junk that's got to go. Same as that, that's recycling. But like I said, the stuff in this office has to be sorted out. Now, I could choose to leave it alone. Okay, but that doesn't work very well. The idea, never do today what you can put off till tomorrow. I went way better than that. I went never do what you can put off. Okay, but you've got a choice. If you're not content with the way your life is running, it is time to change it. Okay, now if you don't know where to begin with that change, okay, I can tell you where to begin. Well, I forget what was Schrodinger's cat. But yeah, honestly, if you take a look at it, we take a look at said box. This is what's called just one of those odd things. We open the box up, and as you can see, it's got a lot of air in it, and nothing else. And no, I didn't let the cat out of the box. I actually don't have a pet here. But as I empty the shelves off, the stuff goes into those boxes and goes to recycling, goes to secondhand store, or goes to somebody that has asked for it. Oh, the funny thing there, Joe. Okay, I'll give you that. It did have air in it. Well, it still does have air in it. When it got here, it had food in it. But we emptied the food out, and most of that went into the fridge. Now, you've got a choice. You can live your life as is, or you can start to change it for what you consider the better. If you don't know where to begin, we'll start with the easy part. Where you're sitting right now. Yeah, but Virgo, y'all, the neat part there, LA, is Virgos are some of the best healers available. Okay. They do have a tendency of being a little self-sacrificing on occasion if they get carried away with it. You know, but again, we require all people, okay, on this planet, every walk of life. We require them all for this world to really pull itself back into balance. And that's not something we rely on the few people in politics or the few multi-billionaire moguls that have a surplus, what we consider a surplus of money. Now, I say consider a surplus because I've talked to people with literally $100,000 bonus check coming into their hand, and they couldn't make ends meet. The fact people have a lot of money does not mean that they're wealthy. Matter of fact, some of the wealthiest people I ever met are almost literally broke. Okay, but you got a choice. You can look at these people and keep putting them up on a pedestal. You can keep telling yourself you're not as good as them. You've got that choice. You've got freedom of choice. You've got freedom of will. What you don't have is freedom of consequence. Now, the neat part about it is if you continue telling yourself that you're not good enough to do it, well, ultimately, you're going to prove yourself right in all likelihood. Either that or you're going to shock yourself to pieces as you suddenly make it happen. Now, there's a saying I love that goes like this. It would be really nice if those of you that keep telling me I can't do things or something would get out of my way and keep quiet while I'm doing it. Okay. I was told as you get older, your body's going to collapse. I am stronger now than I was 30 years ago. My eyes are better than they were 30 years ago. My teeth are still shambles and my knee is still shot to pieces. But I'm in better shape, mentally speaking, than I was. Heck, I'm in better shape, mentally speaking, than I was 50 years ago. Okay. As I get older, and I'm not the only one doing this, by the way, I'm just one of the few that's saying, hey, you can do it, and here's how. Okay. It literally boils down to changing what you're focusing on and making that decision that you're not going to continue living the life the way you've been doing it. No, I'm not talking about, oh, you have to throw everything you've got out the window. Get rid of all your junk. I'm talking about getting rid of the stuff you don't require. Okay. Or the stuff you don't desire to have. Now, I will tell you, there's a big difference between a pack rat and a hoarder. In my eyes, a pack rat is somebody that keeps just about everything. Okay. All this stuff back here, this is minor compared to what I used to have. Okay. I was a pack rat. I come from a long line of them. If I go back to 1902, so we're talking 122 years ago, when my grandfather was born, he brought forth the idea of being a pack rat. Every member of my bloodline since then has been a pack rat. Oh, absolutely they do there, Joseph. Joseph's just saying the lower middle class literally have life better than the kings and princesses of times past. Absolutely. In my opinion, we've got it better than many of the multimillionaires because I don't know about you, for them, everything for a lot of them, things revolve around image. What does the world see of you? How much money do you have? How many trinkets do you have? The lower middle class, we've got a very simple outlook, especially in my case. This is what I got. You don't like it, you know where the door is. Okay, now granted, I could probably use lessons intact, but you got to find the reason for that. Okay, it's like I told the person that literally expressed to me my requirement for learning tact. She goes, Keith, you got to learn tact. I looked at her, I went, tact? She goes, yeah, the ability to tell somebody, where to go and have them look forward to the trip. I said, I got one problem. If I'm mad enough to tell somebody where to go, why do I care if they're looking forward to the trip? In my eyes, it's very simple. I'm going to clear all of this out. Joseph, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, Joseph's just saying we can enter another golden age. Let's do it. Okay, I am reaching out to people right now about building a network so that we can actually produce the things that society, that the working, what I call the working poor, the poor, and the wealthy, not to mention the super wealthy, can all benefit from. But I'm telling you, most of the people I run into that are in the upper echelon, financially speaking, do not remember the struggle to get there. Some of them, in all fairness, have their generations in the wealth market. You have a depression, the people that are struggling to survive don't even notice it. Okay, now I've made a choice. I was cooking off $300 to $400 a month in a restaurant because I didn't want to cook. Yeah, Storm goes, I tend to put the tact back into tactical. I just took a look at the whole thing on tact and went, I just don't have it in me anymore, and I'm not looking to rebuild it. The concept of going, how do I say this so I won't upset somebody? Now, let me tell you something. This is how bad it can get. Years ago, I had a client. She came to me, and she was a little distraught. And she goes, I've got an event coming up. I just need to know how long I've got. And I looked at her and went, okay. And I'm sitting there going, and out it came. I looked at her and I went, 2 months. Well, she burst into tears, collapsed into the chair. So I sat with her for a little while, got her head back on straight. And I said, look, I'm sorry, that could have come out a whole lot better. And she goes, no, that's okay. We know my husband is dying. I just needed to know how long we've got before to get things in order. And she says, the doctors couldn't tell us or wouldn't. Right. And I says, no, my sincere sympathies. But it's unfortunate this is what you're looking at. I kid you not. A week later, I was doing a reading for another woman, same kind of an issue. And of course, I'm sitting there remembering what I said the last time. I'm going, I gotta say this a little better. Okay. Uh-oh. Scritch fight. Joe's just going, spices and herbs were beyond the people in the past. They're still beyond me. I'm still working on that. And of course, here's LA. Storm, don't make me wave my wrench at you. Yeah, if she starts waving that thing, it's not going to go off smoothly there, Storm. But a week later, I had the same situation, so I'm hemming and hawing, and I finally looked at the woman. I went, look, I don't know how to say this in a nice way, but your husband is dying. I kid you not, the woman, she's sitting down, she goes, yes. I'm like, okay, I give up. This was just a primary example for me of why I don't try and figure out if I'm going to upset somebody. because I know I'm going to upset somebody. I make everybody happy. Some of you by showing up, most of you by leaving. Okay. Now, fortunately, in this chat room, it's very simple. There's a lot of support that happens. And I'm really grateful for the people that choose to come in here and support and support each other. It's this message that we've got to get out. Okay. I mean, I just looked at that reaction. I'm like, what kind of an abusive situation was she in? Now again, being born, she chose to come to this world to experience that. This is not a human choice. Okay, because there are not many people that will go, oh, beat me, I enjoy it. I mean, there is the old saying that goes, sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me. But there aren't many people that fall into that belief structure. Okay. And what we're looking at right now, this newsletter, it's gone color. Okay. Now it's got 9 pages. And I think it was March. We had one submission that got popped into positive perspectives. And the reason for that is because I'm not the only one seeing things going on. And this is why I say, if you see something of a positive nature that's taking place, absolutely do me a favor, let me know. I don't pay for it. Sorry, guys. I don't charge for it either. Okay. It's just an opportunity for you to participate in something bigger than you are. Okay. And with the bunch of us working together. Okay. Now, I'm only one person. We have right now 601 subscribers. But like my dropping weight, I'm having trouble getting the subscriptions up. Okay, but no, I'm not going to ask you guys again. Should I continue? No, we're just continuing. Okay, we are adjusting as we go along. And we're going to make things happen. Some of you are, and I've decided on this. Some of you are going to be, at the party in Reno. When I'm talking to you, I will have the current copy of this with me. Now this is April's, but I started working on May's today. And of course, it'll be May's I'll be bringing with me. But I'm not bringing a bunch of them down to hand out. Doesn't work that way. I will be bringing down one, and people will be able to take a look at it if that's what they choose to do. I'm going to be there for a while, so I'm going to be writing that sort of thing. These guys, again, okay. Now these ones, yes, I chose to use figures from D&D, from Dungeons and Dragons. I've got over 500 of the things, but for the purpose of the stories, I'm changing names, okay, and I'm developing entire lifestyles for them, as well as the races, the races of the world. It'd be nice if my mind would slow down once in a while. Okay, and it does. I get tired and go, I'm going to sleep. And that's just where that happens. Okay, but you've got a choice. And then for you, if you're not content with the way your world is, you have to choose. Now, you've got to choose whether you're going to keep doing things. Now, I will tell you, I didn't pay proper attention to my finances. So, in order to make sure that my trip to Reno can go off without a hitch, I am literally choosing to forego a few of my bills, not to the point of having them cut off, but just so I've got access to a little bit extra cash to work with. I'm choosing to ignore bills until after I get back from Reno. I've overextended myself, my doing, so I have figured out how to compensate for it. It's just a question of deciding what are we dealing with. LA, The answer to that is yes. I'm well, my own game, my own world. I still work with a combination of Dungeons and Dragons, okay, because it's a system I don't have to think about. It's literally a cross between Dungeons and Dragons and some of the gaming mechanics from an old game called Aftermath. Okay, but all of these books, okay, oh, that's Breath of the Wolfpack. There it is. Okay, these were written, okay, based on memory, couched in a D&D and post-apocalyptic style atmosphere. Okay, but what I'm now doing now, for those of you that are Dungeons and Dragons players, there was a game out. Does anybody out there remember a game called Harn? Okay, in the D&D venue. Yeah, this is just a curiosity thing on my part. But I'm laying out the entire world. I've gone actually somewhere in my notes. I've got lists of gods, the whole 9 yards has been built. Okay. Now, Harn didn't take off as well as we would have liked. But Harn was literally built by my cousin. Okay. He was actually, Harn itself, my cousin built that. It was 7 years in the making. Okay. So he's done that. My brother gamed from 74 until 2022. Something to do with he died. All of a sudden, it just kind of really interrupted the whole process. No, I started in 73, so he started in 71. But when he died, he kind of quit gaming. Don't know why. I'm still trying to figure that out. I mean, really, it was said in Avengers Endgame. I died. I walked it off. I don't see why people can't. But yes, I am taking all of what I remember, taking the gaming systems I know of, and combining them to make it functionally playable. Okay, and I'm just, it's been really rough trying to get things organized. But I've got, in my opinion, we've got to have a way, we've got to get a game built, because the game master that we've got, he doesn't play at all, like he is just a game master. There is a very big difference between being just a game master and being a player, as any of you that are gamers know. But am I starting to rebuild one now? The answer is yes. There's a couple of reasons for it. Okay. One of the reasons is because it helps with my writing. But I've chosen to put certain things on the back burner. Okay. And you have to yourself take a look. If you haven't done it already, put a list of priorities down. Figure out what really matters to you the most. Now, I'm telling you, ideally, what matters to you the most will be your own feeling of self. Okay. And to get you started on that, if you haven't done so already, oh, that hurt a lot. If you haven't done so already, get this sign. I am worth it. Get this put on your fridge. On the fridge is the best place for it if you're only putting it in one place. Okay. But those 4 words are the best content, the best word combination of words in any language I've heard. Okay, for instigating self-confidence, self-awareness, self-motivation, self-actualization. You get the picture? A lot of self involved. Now, what you've got to decide, and every one of you does. Take a look at where your life is. Are you content with it? If the answer is no, let's get started at removing the blocks, at modifying the energy flow, at clearing out the stream, taking the rocks out of the water so the stream can run smoothly. The sooner we get that done, the sooner your life returns to a much more prosperous, much more enjoyable path. Now, I will warn you, all the money in the world isn't going to make you happy. Okay, it just doesn't work that way. As it was put to me, one chap I was talking to, and he was a multimillionaire. He looks at me and he goes, I've been miserable rich and I've been miserable poor. Hands down, I would rather be miserable rich. Now, I've lived my life on the edge of poverty. Even now, I'm still struggling. And here I am telling you, you can change your life. And the really funny part about it is this little book describes the basics of it. Now, like I say, I'm not telling you do what I say. I'm telling you do what I do. Okay. The reason for it is I'm going to tell you it works. You can bet your bottom dollar I'm pushing to make sure that it works. Now, here's the thing. Okay. Here's the big thing you got to remember. You didn't get into your current mindset overnight. Hopefully. Okay. Yeah, Joseph, there really is. Joseph goes, interesting. I foresee that there is a way to squeeze around the current end time game we seem to be facing. The funny part about that concept, in the Yldrbac Chronicles, I have a gaming crew in the middle of the world going to heck in a handbasket. These guys are playing Dungeons and Dragons. And when the lead protagonist, Jeremiah, comes up and asks them, what's the game about? Okay, they're playing a modern version using D&D rules. They are playing a game designed to help them figure out how to avoid a societal collapse. Okay, that's what they're building their world around. Now with D&D, we always go back to monsters and myths and all of this. But the gaming concept can be used to plan your life. Okay, this is why you take the time. Now, people do not plan to fail. Nobody that I'm aware of plans to fail. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. Sometimes kids will plan to fail so they don't have to take responsibility. Adults are the same way. Okay, but what happens is people fail to plan. So I've had to take a step back and go, okay, what am I not doing right? What am I not, or more to the point, what am I not doing effectively? Okay, so I'm in the middle of putting a bunch of things together, and there's a number of ideas. I got way too many in my head to cover. You yourself undoubtedly have a whole pile of things that you're working on. Now, I know there's a couple of you that have come forth and said, look, this is the goal that I had, and this is the accomplishment I've made. Some of you have removed some of the clutter blocking the main arteries in your primary living space. And let me ask you this. For those of you that have done that, do you feel better than you did? Okay. Now, beforehand, you feel like things are happening. Now, this particular book, or folder rather, is all kinds, and you'll notice there's a whole pile of writing in. There's all kinds of articles I've written. Most of them are already in the positive perspectives. But now I'm going through it to make sure that I've covered all the ones I've got available. and then I get back on a solid track. Again, this neat little idea of lists work. I'm just checking to see if I've got this done right. There we are. Whoop. Telling you, trying to get a clipboard to work when one hand doesn't actually work right is not a fun job. But as you can see, I've got a list here of things I'm working on. Okay, if I do that every day, and here's what I did, just so I can go back and look later, is this folder over here. This is all, now when did this start? This started, I started following that path on January 1st. Okay, so this little duotang, some of you will remember these things, kind of like a flexible binder. But these are all the days that I've had little notes made for myself of to-do lists. Okay, but you'll notice it didn't take any time to figure out where it belongs. Okay, again, when I talk about it, you've got a choice. You can choose to continue doing things your way. And it's amazing how many people I've talked to that they'll ask for help. I'll go, this is what you require. I don't want to do that. I want to do it this way. Okay, well, I'm not going to fight you on it. Do it your way. But if it's not working, it may not be the right way. LA's just letting us know, yeah, I feel like I can think now without all the stuff crowding my view. That's what I found. And that's why I brought it up. Joe, I really do appreciate that. Joe, honestly, if you were to send me even the bare minimum of it, okay, even if you just send me the bare minimum of it, if you're willing, that kind of thing, it's a different viewpoint of things. Would I include it? Certainly, as long as it fits that neat little parameter. And I know in your case, there's no point in saying this, but because we've got listeners, I do not promote any kind of wanton violence, overthrowing governments, overthrowing anything. I don't bother with this idea of, oh, the aliens are going to wipe us out. If the aliens are going to wipe us out, guys, the war's over. You ain't even going to know about it. I appreciate that there, LA. LA's just reminding me they're not looking for advice, they want confirmation. I'm just one of these weird people. I look at it, if I'm doing something backwards, and somebody can point out I'm doing it backwards, because I know it's not working, I just may not be seeing why it's not working, or I don't see an option. Now, that doesn't happen very often. It's usually a question, in my case, of I procrastinate. Never do what you can put off. I'm good at that. Okay. Not necessarily a good thing to be good at, but hey, take what you can get. So I've got some goals that I'm aiming at. And I've made some decisions that, yes, some of my bills, some of my obligations, I'm not meeting them in order to make sure this one thing that's already primarily sorted out is dealt with. Okay. I desire the peace of mind to say, I've got room to work. So I'm looking at it going, I know I'm going to cut it close again. I know I'm going to be overdrawn. So be it. Okay. It's worth it to me. And as that sign says, I am worth it. So are you. But you have a choice to make. And that choice is, are you going to continue listening to people tell you what you can't do, as in you're not capable? Absolutely. If there is a written law in your area, follow the written law. Okay. I don't know about you, but I don't like the hassle. Oh, that's what we got. You're looking at the little sign up in the top corner, powered by SteamYard. Well, of course it is. Okay. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't have wanted to be the one trying to figure it out. But I'm going to continue. We've got choice right now. Now, your life is what I'm looking at right now. Okay. What you choose to do with your life is how you determine, are you going to enhance your life, or are you going to cripple it, or are you just going to let it be the way it is? Now, you all have the same choice. You've all got the same parameters. None of you can change what you've been through to get to where you are. Not a one of you. Okay. But every one of you has the capacity to change what your life is going to look like down the road if you start adjusting what you're doing. If you stay doing things the same way they are, no change, no change. You don't change, your life doesn't change. It's that simple. Okay. This is why I'm starting to do the things I'm doing. And, I think I got my own answer. Give me 10 seconds. When I hear people walking around in my room, in my house, and there's nobody supposed to be here, might be an idea to go check it. But you have a choice. If you desire your life to change, you're going to have to be the one to make the effort to make it happen. One of the things that I've looked at is this. I've got several books on the go that I'm in the middle of reading. Okay. And get this. These are the 3 I'm reading right now. Now, the Bible, like I said, I'm reading it because I told my dad I would. So we are currently on Samuel 1. Okay. That's where I've gotten to, reading it cover to cover. So since the beginning of the year, okay, of the Bible, I've read 266 pages of it. Okay. I'm not even a quarter of the way through it yet. So it's going to be probably, it'll be more than a year before I get finished. Okay. Then I've got the little book that my brother wrote. And I've got 60 pages of it read out of 400-ish. Okay. Of course, this one, and these are just simply, I decided I was going to read more. This is the 3rd volume in an encyclopedia that I'm reading. A 16 volume encyclopedia. Okay. I suspect it's only 15. The 16th volume, I think, is just the index. Okay. I decided I was going to read more. So here I am reading more. You make a decision. You're going to change a part of your life. Make it happen. Okay. Now, I chose to start really working on my physical health, on all of my health across the board. Okay. I chose to make it happen. So what did I do? I went because I don't trust the modern doctors, primarily because the medicine they were prescribing me was frankly making me blind. I didn't like it much. So I've been talking to other people that have gone through similar things, like I've told you. Talk to people if you're striving to do something. Talk to somebody that's done it successfully. Okay. Emulate what they've done, because if it worked for them, a variation on it will likely work for you. Okay. When I decided I was going to put this guy I was going to start writing about this. Like I said, LA. Yeah, they absolutely are. Let me see here. What do I do with it? When I look at the book of Samuel, I am on chapter 29. I'm on chapter 29 right now. Oh, I'm just about done it. Oh, look at that. It's only got 30 chapters. I'm just about done. And then Samuel 2 has another 23. Has another 24 chapters. Okay. But like I said, I'm going through it one chapter at a time. Okay. So it's going to take a while. But I made the decision I was going to make it happen. I made the decision. I made the choice to start working on my own creative side. And I don't mean the writing. The writing, yes, I'm continuing with it, but it's not something I have to really work a lot at. But I am deliberately working on getting my health up on track. And therefore, guys, I'm quite open to ideas that people have about nutritional changes to improve my health. It probably is. I haven't got that far yet. I didn't even know there was a books of law. But I'm reading it one chapter at a time, one book at a time. Then I'll carry on. Am I going to have time to read the rest of the Bibles that I've got copies of? Not likely. Way too many books already in go. But what I did come to understand was no matter what walk of life you come from, no matter what your belief structure, doesn't make any difference at all. You're all going through the exact same thing. Oh, okay. Didn't recall them being called the Book of Law, but that's okay. You're all going through the same thing. All of you are right here, right now. You're the one that has absolute dominant control over whether you're going to change your life. Now, yes, there are all kinds of obstacles in the way. Maybe you don't, for whatever reason, know how to start making the changes. That's where myself and other people come in. Okay. It is amazing how many spiritual guys I've talked to that, spiritual guys or spiritual healers I've talked to that don't even comprehend the basic mistakes they're making. Now, that probably sounds cocky on your part, on my part. Okay. It probably does. But what I would like to point out is I'm not perfect. Not perfect, but I'm doing my best. Oh, there we go. Yes, I have read all of those. And I'm not going to give you, LA, if we're talking about it, if it comes up, certainly I'll give you my opinion on it. On air, not a prayer. Okay, not a prayer. But I think it was you, Joe, that made the comment that you're not perfect, but you're doing your best. I love that saying. And I'm pulling together other ones I know of as well that people have told me, which is why I've started adding them into positive perspectives. Like this current edition, okay, A friend of mine actually was the one that phrased it. You know, yeah, I think it would too. Yeah, LA is going, no, I think it'd be a disaster. Yeah, pretty much. But I do think that the stream would end because I'd be dead. Again. But no, a friend of mine coined a phrase. I don't know if he heard it from somebody else. But what he said was to know oneself is to know all. Okay. And honestly, if you know what makes you happy, you can, and you know what makes you unhappy. If you behave in that fashion, trying to emulate that side of it and treat people the way that you desire to be treated, okay, you'll find that people are all essentially the same. Okay. I get told men and women think differently. My experience with well over 100,000 relationship clients, well over 100,000 myself. I'm telling you, men and women think essentially the same. They process it a little differently, primarily because men are told, gotta have a stiff upper lip, can't show your emotions, because that's a sign of weakness. Now, I'm talking the gross generalization. There are those of you out there that were taught your emotions are a good thing. Okay. Women are told, leave your heart on your sleeve, live by your emotions, and people will just deal with it. Of course, now here's the kicker. You've got a choice. You can follow those. I have told countless adult males, it's okay to cry. I will tell you wholeheartedly, it's a good thing to cry. I'll also tell you, I'm not about to let myself do so. But then in my case, the acid in my system is so high. Well, how high is it? It's so high, it literally burns my skin. I figure my heart hurts already. I don't need the extra pain. But you got a choice. You can continue seeing the people the way you've been seeing them. Some of you, unfortunately, have been taught that women are second-class citizens. Okay? You got to get it through your head. Okay? They're just as important as men are. They've got different strengths, different weaknesses. Each one of them, I will wholeheartedly tell you, whether it's right in your eyes or not doesn't really make a lot of difference. In my opinion, men are, on the whole, physically stronger than women. This doesn't mean, I mean physically, naturally stronger. Doesn't mean women cannot compete in the strength department. Okay. But women tend to be more even tempered. Yes, we see women with their emotions going bouncing all over the neighborhood. They were told to. Okay. The men sat there and went, it's okay, you're a woman, you're allowed to be emotional. Emotions are a good thing, but everything in moderation. Last year, I tried straightening my entire house out in one run. I am currently working on one room. Okay, now I've got the arteries in my primary living space here already cleared. Okay, I can walk down the middle of the hallway without a problem, save that one box I just put out there, and I know where to move it to. Okay, it's got a special place to go out of the way where nobody trips over it. But what I'm looking for is what I'm doing is just pulling on my own past experience. But I invite you and encourage you, if you've got a question, if you've got an area that you're having trouble with or that you feel other people are having trouble with, absolutely drop me a line. Let me know what it is. And the more specific you are, the more direct I'll deal with it. As it stands right now, this week we're looking at choice. Now, my next 3 months, well, at this point, 2.5 months. Okay. That is an excellent idea there. Joseph just popped in here. Evolution versus revolution. And where is my little deal? Now that, see, this is where this little pad of mine comes in handy. That one, I will get writing. I will write an article on that to put in positive perspectives. Now, again, if you're not getting the email or getting the newsletter, okay, if you're not getting the Positive Perspectives magazine, absolutely hit that link up above, that buy me a coffee. There's an access point to a free newsletter there. If you're looking for it, absolutely drop me a line. I will get it to you. Now, I will do my best to get the current one out right away. They only come out once a month. Okay. And the funny thing about it is, I'm not going to go, oh, look at this research here. This is what it says. Not interested. Here's the problem with research for me. When you start reading what other people have written, they pulled the research from the same sources you are. Okay. Most of my insight comes from personal experience, past life memories, over 100,000 clients, business and personal combined. Some on a spiritual path, some dealing with mourning, people dealing with relationship complications, business hiccups. You name the topic, I've probably dealt with it. This is where I'm getting my viewpoint from. Now, am I going to cover some of it in here? Some I will. There are certain topics you haven't got a prayer getting me to talk about on this stream. You really want to tangle with some of these, i.e., the discrepancies in the Bible that people keep asking me about. You want me talking about those? Simple rule. Get me on a show that actually wants to discuss them. And I'll be more than happy to do so. Okay. You want me to talk live about it? Get me an invitation to an event, into a live event, and I will do my best to come down and deal with it. Am I going to do it on this stream? Not a snowball's prayer. Not going to happen. Okay, you got to remember, YouTube has its rules and regulations. I'm not getting shut down because I want to open my mouth. My mouth opens and I put my foot in it regularly anyway. But everything I've been telling you, I am doing my level best to follow through with. I choose to say, this is what I'm doing. Okay. And this is why when I was talking to my other half, okay, I asked her point blank what I was permitted to say about things. Okay. Because I wasn't saying a thing until I got go ahead from her. Okay. Now, in this, the changes that I started to implement, yes, I've got a hard copy. I finally got a printer. Okay. I paid for half of it. My oldest son paid for the other half. Okay, so we're both using the thing. But now it boils down to a simple issue of staying on top of it. I'm not going back to printing out a hard copy of Positive Perspectives. Okay, primarily because the overhead was killing me. This way I can get it out easily without a real big hiccup. But you've got a choice in your world. Are you happy with the way your world is? Are you happy with the layout? Now, I will tell you, if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're not sleeping restfully, take a look in your room. Take a look in your actual bedroom. Do you have a bunch of clutter in there that doesn't belong there? Okay. If you do, it's time to get rid of it. Now, there are certain books I'm looking at walking away from that I've got. Okay. Because what I found is that the discrepancies in them, there's too much to correct. So I'm just choosing to walk away from them. Okay, I've got enough knowledge to work with. So I'm focusing my efforts on the things I can work with. Not the least of which is this. Okay. When I said I was going to be working, I downsized the strength of it. But I dropped the size a little to slow the weight down and really focus on the foundation. Okay, now what is it? That's a 20-pound weight now. Okay. Yes, I did hit the 25 by the end of the year. But I decided I wasn't happy with the way it went. So I'm now working on a whole pile of things. But I've slowed my pace down. And I'm telling you, society right now is designed for instant gratification. How fast can I get things done? You know, how fast can I make this happen? How quick can I get it to happen? I'm telling you, quick doesn't work as well as you might think. I gotta stop this guy from drinking my coffee. I gotta stop her from drinking my coffee because I tell you, I keep running out of the stuff. But not only am I working on my arms and my shoulders now, but I've started working on my abdomen because I'll tell you, no, I'm not showing you that. That's just gross. Okay. The only person that's getting to see that one eventually is my other half. And even she isn't going to see it because, well, frankly, she's blind. Okay. But you're not happy with something in your life. Understand you probably didn't get to the state you're in overnight. Okay. It probably took you a while. But here's a neat little factor for you. If you're struggling with weight, first and foremost, okay, and it's just mathematics. It really is. You put less calories into your body than what you're burning, and you will drop weight. The key is to find out what is nutritious. Christine, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You know, I am looking into things like I just ended up. There's a new fruit juice that came out, a new fruit juice concentrate. Okay, that came out with blueberries. The one has blueberry and strawberry in it. The other one has blueberry, strawberry, ginger, lemon, and something else. But they're a concentrate, which means, I buy the bottle, it's got the juice. Now I add my own water. Again, it saves me a staggering amount of money when you think about it. Okay, talk to the person that was doing the demo with it. Found out how long it's supposed to last. Okay, how to take care of it. Now it's fruit juice without preservatives, from what I gather. I haven't actually looked at it. Actually, I should do that just on principle. Give me 10 seconds. This is what's called getting sidetracked. Went and got this because I just picked this up the other day. Okay, it's something called Berry Fresh. Right? And this one's got cranberry, lemon, ginger. Yeah, cranberry, lemon, ginger, blueberry, and orange. Okay, all condensed into that one bottle. Now, the bottle is, 280 would be 10. It's about 15 ounces. Okay, I take one shot glass of this to a glass of water. Okay, and all of a sudden, so this little thing, I got it for $5. It usually costs $7, but it makes at that level. Well, if you look at 375 times 14, you're looking, well, I don't feel like doing that. $375 times 14, yeah. Whoop, that is wrong. Yeah, let's not do math while I'm on air. What do you think? But I picked that up. That will do over the course of a week. It will run me quite nicely. But it's straight fruit juice. Oh, that's what I went to check. I take a look at it here. Wild. Yeah, just pressed fruit. There is, like, I'm looking at the ingredients, and it's got nothing in the way of preservatives in it. So, from my standpoint, I'm quite happy about that. Now, I might be misreading something. What I do know is I like the flavor, and it does put fruit juice in my system to give me some of the antioxidants and what have you that I require, that everybody requires to get your health back running properly. It takes time to turn the system around. Okay, 2 years ago, I was 60 pounds heavier. I was told I needed medication. I looked and went, no, I need to stop filling my face. I cut down on the amount of calories I was putting in, increased the amount of energy I was expending. Net result is I ended up dropping 60 pounds. It takes time. It took me time to get there. It's going to take time to get back. Yes. Actually, a shot glass usually only has 1 ounce. You got the big ones. The 2-ounce shot glass is for the 7-layer Pousse Cafe. Great drink. Not good for the waistline. Well, great for the waistline. Builds it in a hell of a hurry. What's funny, I told the girl that was working with it, that was doing the demo, she offered to give me a plastic shot glass. I said, no. I said, I appreciate that, but much as I don't drink, I've still got shot glasses at home. But it takes time to turn things around. And absolutely, I am looking right now for a way to drop my cholesterol because I'm not going back on cholesterol pills. Just not going to happen. There's got to be foods out there. People were healthy before medicine got involved. We can get back to that. Now, do not get me wrong. If you're seeing a doctor, keep seeing the doctor. But do make sure you understand what's going on. The biggest disservice you can do to yourself is to not ask questions. If you just take it for granted that you're getting told exactly what will work, talk to the people you trust. Talk to the people that you know what they're doing health-wise. Now, I'm looking for natural foods. I am getting back back into cooking. I'm getting into cooking to start actually making food that is healthier for me. Absolutely, I am. Now, not only is that going to increase my financial look, it's going to improve my health. But I've got 2 major areas that I haven't found the key to. One is I haven't found indication of really what clears the cholesterol. Although if I understand it correctly, blueberry is a big one. Okay. The other one is how to rebuild teeth. And I know it can be done. I know this for an absolute certainty. I don't know how they did it. Centuries back, before modern medicine and preservatives and toxins were introduced to our food en masse, people were eating healthier. Okay. I'm going back to that. Now, I'm not the greatest cook. It's a good thing I'm also not the one with the greatest taste buds. So that's just the way that goes. But I am very willing to listen if somebody has an idea as to how to bring my health and my energy levels up to a decent level again. I find it a little odd. My sleeping pattern is virtually non-existent. I end up sleeping, 2 or 3 hours. I'll be up for 4 or 5 and go back to sleep for 2 or 3. Okay. I'm not sleeping a whole night very often. And I'd love to be. Thus far, my body hasn't cooperated. But you've got a choice. Okay. And that choice is going to affect everything you do from here on out. You can either stay working with your life the way it is. Okay, you can stay on the path you're on. Or you can start to alter the things you're doing. Anything that is not building towards what you consider success, it's time to make an adjustment. Now, if you don't know how, if you're sitting there going, but where do I start? How do I begin? I can give you a couple of things. This is going to sound like a sales pitch. It does, because it is. Okay, these little books here, rough one. These little books here, Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams. Sorry, that's Believe in Your Business. That's Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams. Tells you exactly the steps I took and currently still utilize to change my life from stagnating and procrastinating on everything I was doing to the point of never do what you can put off. Then we have Believe in Your Business. Now, rest assured, if you're running a household, you're running a business. Okay? But that's Believe in Your Business and Follow Your Dreams. This one, Believe in Your Finances and Follow Your Dreams. Again, these are tools I personally use, personally have trained dozens, if not hundreds, in all fairness, thousands of people on how to do this. Okay, these tools work. I'm currently in the middle of writing Believe in Your Organization to show you in simple terms how to organize your life one step at a time. You do the work. The best tools in the world are absolutely useless if you don't pick them up. Now, I will tell you, there's lots of books when we're looking at finance. There's lots of books out there that will tell you how to handle your money. If you've got $40,000 or $50,000, I'm laying odds that people in this chat room don't have an overabundance of cash. I know I sure don't. Okay, but I finally figured out what I was doing wrong. And that's why I'm here. Is to say, hey, I spent 61 years on this planet. I haven't got it right. So if you're in your 40s and you haven't got it right, hey, if you do have it right, you're 20 years ahead of me. But I've been here multiple lifetimes. And if I can share something with you to help you avoid some of the pitfalls I went through, then that's what I'm going to do. Okay. If one little thing can help. Okay. And again, this is just one of those funny little ideas that just popped into my head here. Okay. Some of you I've reached out, some of you I've ended up helping over the years. Okay, or over the months, whatever. But things that are testimonials from people, that say this has worked. I would really appreciate it if they were sent in. I will end up putting them in the magazine. Okay, because of the fact that so many people get this idea of, well, this is all great news, it's a great idea, but does it work? When a stranger turns around and says, I did this, it worked. It works so much better to help people grab hold of the idea and go, hey, it's working. Now, it has worked for thousands of years with people turning around Whoa, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Whoa, this is directly to you because you didn't hear the earlier part. Take a look at the newsletter I sent you. You're going to want to take a look at it. There's been some changes I made to it. It's sitting in your email right now. But you just want to take a look at it. But I take a look at it and go, if people are, for 1,000 years, we've listened to people sit there and say, this is the way to live your life. And then they turned around and did something completely backwards. And we have society today. Okay. But I believe it was Joseph. Yeah. I believe it was Joseph that said it. Okay, Joseph Lawrenson. Okay, I think that said we have the opportunity to step into a new golden age. Let's make it happen. Let's start a pandemic of smiles and goodwill. Okay, I mean, John Lennon, wrote a song. I think he wrote it. He certainly sang it. Give peace a chance. It's time we did. Okay. It really. Thank you for the confirmation there, LA. It really is time that we quit waiting for the politicians, for the so-called elites, for the so-called spiritual guides that are telling you we're already in trouble. Okay, we're all going to die. Well, we are all going to die. Lord knows I've done it often enough. It's a rush. It really interrupts your life path. Okay, but we're all going to do it. The question isn't, are you going to die? Okay, you don't get a choice on whether or not you die. You're going to die. You get a choice on how are you going to live. Are you going to live by propagating and promoting the negative behavior on this planet? World Bigfoot, how you doing? Glad you could join us. And I've got to find this. This is the link to World Bigfoot's live stream. So drop in, give him a listen. If you like what he has to say, do give him a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the daylights out of the thing. It'll be really appreciated. Where he is. Refresh. I'm just bringing my own feet up and see where I'm standing here. Really? Well, it tells you how much I've been paying attention, doesn't it? I mean, I'm quite pleased with this. What do we got? We've got 8 now watching, right? But I've got 12 likes. I'm not going to complain about that. I used to look at it and go, we got 600. I got to get to 1,000. And I do. Don't get me wrong. Sooner or later, I got to get up there. But my whole focus has changed to this. Several thousand years ago, a young lad came here, and take your pick as to what story you want to look at. Young lad came here, and basically what he said was, be nice to each other. Help the wounded. Help the sick. Help the people that are not in as good a shape as you are. Okay? He only started out with 12 people. Okay? Now, sad to say, we have billions of people carrying this message forth and billions of people focusing on instant gratification. I think somewhere the message got lost. And we've got to bring that message back. Change takes time. Okay. But not a lot of it. Change. Pen in right hand. Change. Pen now in left hand. No pain, no suffering, no dangerous side effects. Okay. Didn't even have to put anything into my body. Matter of fact, putting a pen into your body is probably going to be painful. Okay, depending on how far you put it in and what you're trying to put it in through. But what I am telling you is it is absolutely critical, okay, that we start working on changing the world in spite of what the leaders, the spiritual guides, the mega corporations, in spite of what they're telling you. Okay, you do not require, marketing works well. Here we have world, that is just blunt, and I thought I was blunt. The world goes, the philosophical difference between don't be a dip, and that wasn't the word he used, versus malignant narcissism. Okay, like I said, I am not better than any one of you. I may be more talented at putting my foot in my mouth. Okay, but I'm sure some of you are better at it than I am. Now, why am I getting silly things like that? I am not interested in that. Thank you very much. But I am looking at this world going, we have a staggering opportunity in front of us right now. We can take the world that we've got. We can let it continue down the path it's gone. Now, here's the outcome of the path it's currently on. If nothing changes, this same routine and road was followed, 1700 years ago-ish, when Rome collapsed. Now, we can let this world continue down its current path. Absolutely. Won't take any effort at all. Stick your head in the sand, pull the blankets up over your head, whatever. You can absolutely ignore what's going on. Or you can start changing your world in your immediate area. Now, it won't look like much on the global scheme, okay, but it will have an impact in your local area. And if enough local people are changing things, we can change the tide the world is on. Okay, it is up to us. If not us, who? If not when, now, when? Okay, that's the question I keep asking when I go, should I stop doing this? And I keep getting encouragement, don't stop. And I got thinking, well, yeah, I could I could just say scrap it and let it burn. Okay, and Lord knows I've said that often. But, it still comes back to I look in the mirror and go, if I don't do it, if I don't start this kind of a road, who's going to? Okay, if I don't do it, if I don't start it now, when is the best time to start it? I can't start it yesterday. Okay, and if I put it off for 3 weeks, I'm still starting it now. Since we cannot go back in time to change anything that's already occurred, we have to focus on altering the path things are traveling on. Okay, and absolutely, if you've got an idea, and this is literally a personal request, I need to get my sleep onto a more stable pattern and get my energy levels up to a reasonable level. And by the way, caffeine doesn't work for me, so that's out. Okay, I mean, I can drink a pot of coffee and fall asleep in the middle of a cup. So we can safely say caffeine won't do it. Already tried the alcohol route, already tried the cocaine route. I'm thinking these are bad ideas anyway. But if you've got an idea of something that can bring up my energy levels and have it so I can actually work through an entire day without passing out, that would be appreciated. Because I keep feeling like something's not clicking. Now, and look at that, we are down to the last. I thought about that, and in all fairness, I used to drink the standard cup of coffee world. I used to drink it for, at a normal level. I just weaken it off because I drink a lot of it. But, yeah, cute thought. It's an idea world. Anyway, guys, we are down to the tail end here. I really want to say thank you so very much for sharing your time with me. I really do appreciate it. I will be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow we deal with society and the choices that society is making and what we can do to help influence them. You know, that said, I am going to call it a night, but thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I will be back again. Until then, do take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.